Ladies and gentlemen, the PlayStation Portal got its maybe biggest update ever tonight, and we're going to check it out. So if you're not aware, PlayStation Portal got an update this evening that enabled you to stream your own game. So in your own library of games that you own, you will now be able to stream them on the PlayStation Portal. It's not every game, but it's over 1,000 titles are available. And it does require a PlayStation Plus premium subscription to be able to do this. So I do have that, and I'm going to kind of just boot this thing up, and we're going to check it out and see how it runs, how it works. The way I figured we could do this is we're just going to jump in and out of a bunch of games, and there's not going to be like tons and tons of gameplay of each one. So I figured what we could do is I can just kind of jump into a game and go over maybe just kind of like how I thought about the game, some thoughts about it. So if it's something that you might be interested in, maybe I can convince you to play it, or, if you've already played it, maybe you'll have some opposing thoughts to what I do. And if you do, you can certainly drop those in the comments below. But let's take a look at this update. So the first thing, it's going to kind of introduce you to a couple of new features, new menu, and of course, play games via cloud streaming. So this is like right up front and center. This is the big deal in the update. And of course, there's a couple of other things that you can do as well. But once you get it booted up, you kind of can tab left and right with the R1 and L1 buttons. So the L1, like the left tab, is going to be your console remote play, and the middle one here is going to be your cloud streaming, which is, you can do it from the PS Plus catalog or your own library. And we're going to take a look at our own library here today. So, yeah, I was really surprised how many games were in here. And even some games I own, I'm like, I own that? I don't even remember buying that or getting access to it. But over the years, too, I guess we get a lot of stuff through PlayStation Plus, the free games every month, stuff like that. So our first game, let's just jump into Expedition 33 real quick. This is a game that needs no introduction. You guys have seen it on the channel. I love this game. I think it's awesome. I adore the music in it, especially. But the combat, super fun. I like the action turn-based. I like the parrying system. It's just a lot of fun. The voice acting and everything like that in the game is also really great. The story, I think, is super cool. Didn't quite deliver for me on the second half of the game, but that's okay. I still liked it. I didn't hate it or anything like that. So if you haven't already played it, I mean, this is a game you should probably play. Unless you don't like turn-based games, then I totally understand. But I think they were really smart dropping this game for $50. I think it got a lot more people's attention than maybe otherwise would, especially being turn-based, which is seemingly, and I think this game is kind of helped the reputation of turn-based, and to become maybe a little bit more popular. Obviously, games like Persona and stuff like that have really kind of brought it more mainstream here in the last few years. But so far this looks good. I mean, I really can't tell much of a difference from remote play on my PS5 to this. I'll be interested to see. I didn't really I didn't look at all of the details, but I imagine these are standard PS5 consoles. I can't imagine they'd be using like a PS5 Pro, which, later on in this video on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'll jump into the settings and just kind of confirm that for you. But I don't know, maybe that would be something cool that they could do later on. But yeah, the image quality here is great. I'm obviously on my home Wi-Fi. My home Wi-Fi network is really great. I mean, you don't need more than 15, 20 megabits per second to do cloud streaming. The more important thing with cloud streaming or even remote play on your Wi-Fi is just a really good, consistent signal, like with no dropouts and stuff like that. So, in my home, my network has been really great for remote play, game streaming, all that kind of stuff. But so far, yeah, this looks good. I'm really happy with this image quality too. Like it doesn't look pixelated or anything like that. It looks good. It looks really just like I'm remote playing it. I'm kind of watching the footage back as I do the voiceover here, and because when I was playing it, I was at a kind of a weird angle, so it's kind of hard to see when you're playing it just how good the image quality is. You know, when you're filming it and you're at like kind of a weird angle, but watching the footage back here, yeah, this looks really great. So we're gonna go ahead and that's cool. You can actually check the max resolution. So maybe you're doing it from your mobile hotspot or something, and the 1080p is not working good. You can drop the max resolution to 720p, and then maybe you can get a little bit better performance that way, just depending on your network conditions. That's super cool. I like that. That's an option. Let's go ahead and jump into another game. And throughout this video, I'm going to go ahead and let all of the loading screens go. I'm not going to cut anything out. So this is straight up one rip video. There's no cuts, nothing like that in it. So that way you can, you know, maybe you're on the fence on the Portal and maybe this is pushing you over the edge. So you want to kind of see what the experience will be like. That's what I'm trying to kind of show here. Is, you know, what you can expect if you are diving into a Portal for the first time, or maybe you're going to buy one specifically for this feature. It really is a game-changing feature, especially you know, not just having the cloud streaming, you know, PlayStation Plus games, but actual games that you own. It really does make this device usable anywhere. Now, I have used my Portal in like completely different countries and had what I would consider a good enough experience for how far away I was from my home console. I mean, thousands of miles away I was able to do it. The latency was not great, so you know, it's not like I was playing competitive shooters or anything whenever I did that, but I was shocked at how well it still worked. But with this cloud streaming, I think this is going to be a better option if you are away from home and you're like, you know, maybe halfway across the country, or you're traveling internationally or something like that. You know, my wife and I, with our daughter, we travel, you know, up and down our state, you know, about 90 miles away. So I'm often with relatives or other things like that. And, you know, remote play, you know, 100 miles away is totally fine. But, you know, if I had any issues, I would probably have no problems just jumping into this cloud streaming. At least so far, that looks pretty good. So let's try Wukong. Now, a lot of these games I have not played since they came out. I mean, usually I like to stick with one game at a time, or one or maybe two games at a time, and just kind of move on, like complete them out, move on. And this is probably the hardest game that I've personally ever platinumed. I am not like a Souls bro or anything like that. I did really like this game. I thought it was like a ton of fun. I thought it was hard as hell, and it was really satisfying getting good at this game, and you know, not just beating it but also platinuming it, because there are some ridiculous boss fights that I didn't think I would be able to do. And this particular little I think this is a boss if I remember right here. We're just going to run up here and just kind of do this fight real quick. And I'm going to get my butt handed to me, but that's no problem. I don't even remember what the buttons are, or I was like, oh, a spellbinder. I do remember that. It makes you like more powerful, but you can't do anything else. So I just turned that on, and I was like, I'm just going to go whack him for a while and see what happens. But this one did feel a little bit blatant to me compared to Expedition 33. But it didn't feel like unplayable. I felt like I'd still be able to play this way. But it did feel just a little bit more latent to me than I would have liked it to be. But I play this a lot on remote play as well, so I'm kind of used to that. I think in single-player games, a lot of people are like, oh, I just use it for turn-based, or I just use it for JRPGs, or I just use it for, you know, like 2D type games. I'm like, I remote play everything. I don't care. I mean, I'm not doing like competitive multiplayer. I'm doing single-player games that like your brain just kind of adjusts to the latency, and you just kind of get used to it. So like if you need to start hitting the parry button a little bit quicker or something like that, dodge button a little bit quicker than normal, you just adjust to it. It's not really that big a deal. Now, I mean, if the latency is like a second or something like that, yeah, obviously that's not going to be playable. But so there we go. I got waxed there in Wukong, but hey, I've got the platinum, so you know I can at least do it. Let's check out another game here. Let's see what we got. I don't like well, I guess that's kind of the way that PlayStation does it anyway. It does like your most recent games, but I changed it a few times to. I think I'll start doing it between these games, changing it to alphabetical. I wish it would just like leave it on what you put it on, so that way you didn't have to change it every time. It seems like it always just defaults to like the latest purchase, latest installed, or whatever that is. So let's jump into Ghost of Yote. This is a game I am actually actively playing. So we can see how this one goes. I really like Ghost of Yote. I put out a video, so you probably haven't seen it on the channel because it didn't really get a whole lot of views. So, but in that video, I was like, it is like Ghost of Tsushima, but better basically on kind of every level. But I was like, there's nothing. It seemed like kind of a typical revenge story. It's like there's nothing that's like I don't think is super pressing or that you're gonna get spoiled on or anything like that. So I was like, if you're with all the games coming out, if you can't get to it right away, I said it was like probably okay if you waited, and it still probably is. But I will say, 45 hours into this game, that I was kind of wrong about it. I think the Yotei 6 setup, like the Kill Bill style, check them off your little sash there with their blood. I think it's awesome. It's like a lot of fun. And when you do get those boss encounters, they're super satisfying. They're really well done. They're fun. The story, I was like 28 hours into the game and I hit a story beat that was like totally unexpected. And I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. I mean, it's a story beat that you could hit probably way early in the game, but I didn't hit it till like 28 hours into the game, and I was like, wow, this totally changes like my perspective about the story. It's a lot more deep than I was kind of expecting. So I think Ghost of Yote, it's a great game. So if you liked Tsushima, it just improves on everything Tsushima did in terms of like the world, the fighting, the combat is excellent. It is awesome, and it's super fun and satisfying. Like the first area that I went into was like the snowy area, and the Yotei 6 member was called the Kitsune, which I thought was a really cool boss. And that area, I was just getting my butt kicked early on. And I was like, maybe I wasn't supposed to wander into this area. But what's cool is, you keep progressing, you keep getting better weapons, you keep getting better skills, and it becomes ultra satisfying whenever you get like a lot of different weapons, a lot of different skills, a lot of different like quick fire weapons, and you go into these encounters where you were kind of like getting your butt kicked and you were just like, you are the ghost. I mean, you are just like killing people left and right and just doing all these like crazy moves, and it's absolutely awesome. So we're doing like a Wolf Den thing here, and I'm not going to wax everybody on this one, I'll tell you that. I couldn't really hardly see this. The Portal has a very glossy screen, and so at the angle that I was playing, it was hard to kind of see. So that's right, I'm making excuses for getting my butt kicked here, which is okay, no big deal. You guys can make fun of me. The comments down below work for that. I'm totally cool with it. If you're going to leave a comment, you can talk about how bad I play games. That's fine, I don't mind. Appreciate you, dropping the comments, dropping likes, all that kind of stuff. So if you're returning to the channel too, I just want to say thank you for coming back and watching, other videos. Obviously, a lot of people are here for the PC handheld stuff, and with the Portal being a handheld, I think it's interesting. I really like PlayStation. I think it's a great ecosystem to play in, and I'm super interested in game streaming and remote play. So this is something I wanted to do on the channel is do some game streaming stuff. And early on in my channel, most of my early subscribers and viewers, if you guys are still watching, thank you guys very much. But you probably came to the channel from, like the Legion Tab G9 controller combo and doing like GeForce Now streaming and stuff like that. So I think that the Portal is super cool. And with these new features at $199, I mean, I think the climate for handheld gaming has totally changed since this thing came out. Like when it came out, I mean, you had like the Logitech G Cloud, right, which took a lot of crap for being like $300 and just being a game streamer. And then this came out at $200, which I think a lot of people were pretty happy with, but a lot of people still trashed it, saying like, you're paying $200 do something that you could do on a phone or whatever. But I think this is an awesome device. I mean, it's basically a DualSense controller for the most part. There's no touchpad, but you got an 8-inch LCD screen in the middle, and it is a very good LCD screen. It's not, OLED or anything like that. It's not going to like knock your socks off, but it has really good colors, good color reproduction. There's not like crazy bezels. Everything just kind of melts away while you're playing. I do wish the Portal had bigger sticks, but I've kind of come around on them as I've played more and more PC handhelds. I've kind of gotten used to these smaller stick sizes, but I remember Jim Ryan, whenever it first came out, he was like, all of the features and benefits of the DualSense. I was like, yes, let's go. And then I got it, I'm like, those sticks are not DualSense sticks. Like, come on, bro. Those are not DualSense sticks. I don't have a touchpad. This doesn't have like a separate, so it's a little bit different than what they originally marketed at, but I like it a lot. I think it's awesome. I do wish they would enable Bluetooth. If I remember right, there is Bluetooth built into it, but they don't have it activated because they want to sell you the Pulse Explorer earbuds, which I did have when I had my previous Portal. And they work good, they sound good, but they look ridiculous. And everybody already has earbuds. I mean, I have AirPods, I have Galaxy Buds. I got too many, earbuds, and I don't really want to add another one to the pile. So that's something that, if they really want this thing to go mainstream, I think they should enable that. I think that would tip some people over the edge. But I do think that the Link technology is great because it is like a kind of like, I think it's a lossless format, but there's no latency, which is awesome. So when you're playing on Portal, like you don't have like the lip sync issues that you do with like a Bluetooth headset and your normal PC handheld. I haven't said anything about this. This is Fallout 4. I adore Fallout. Fallout 3 was like a game, it's like a world-changing type experience whenever that came out. I loved it. I liked Fallout New Vegas. I know most people that's their favorite. I like Fallout 3 way better. Fallout 4, a lot of people, again, it was kind of mixed when it came out. I love Fallout 4. I think it's great. I platinumed it here on PlayStation not too long ago. I think it was last year maybe, and I just had a ball playing it. I actually remote played most of it in Apple Vision Pro, if you can believe it. It's super cool to play like first-person games on like just huge, expansive, like, 200-300 inch like screens. Like that really like immerses you in it. I kind of like that better than like your full 360 like PSVR. But Fallout 4, great game. Cannot wait for whatever's next in that series. I wish it would come out yesterday. So let's go ahead and jump into something else here. Let me sort it out, and we're going to jump into another game. All right, so let's jump into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Kind of interested just to see this one. This was like when I was playing these other ones, I was like, I wonder if any of these games had PS5 Pro support just to like, provide a good experience. And if there's any game that needed it, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was probably one. So I definitely wanted to jump in and sort of like jump into the menu just to double check. I'm sure if that was the case, they would have said something. So I don't expect that to be the case. And actually, once this loaded up right away, I was kind of greeted with, oh, this is a demo. And I didn't realize that it's kind of weird that it doesn't recognize that you own a game and the demo. I guess the regular PS5 does that too. So we'll just jump into demo here for just 2 seconds, and then I'll jump into the actual real game. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth are incredible games. I totally adore them. When I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, I actually played it like it was right around like leading up to Christmas time. It was right before my daughter was born, and I was like just trying to cram in all the gaming that I could. And Final Fantasy Remake was the game that I was just like got super deep into. I fell in love with it. And this is another game that I thought was hard to platinum. Maybe other people don't think so, but I thought it was the remake, not Rebirth. I thought remake was incredibly difficult to platinum because of some of the hard challenges that you had to do. Like there's one like boss gauntlet where you had to kill like these 4 mega bosses like back to back to back. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I actually had to watch a couple of videos of like getting certain builds just so I could like try to cheese them, and I actually ended up doing it like, you know, couple of shots, couple like super fast. I think I did the whole gauntlet in like 4 minutes. I was like proud of myself. Like you had to do everything perfect to be able to pull off doing it that way. And so it was kind of crazy. I was like excited whenever I did that and got that platinum trophy. I think I screamed some profanity upstairs. My wife actually heard it and was like, what is happening up there? So totally funny little story there. So if you have not played these games, third-person action games, they are like, it's kind of interesting, the combat. It's kind of like semi-turn-based, so you can kind of not pause the action, but like slow down the action so you can select like different magic skills and stuff like that. There's a system in the game called the materia system, which you can use. Basically, like you can use different abilities and have them fused to your weapons, and kind of gives you like buffs to different powers and stuff like that. So the games are, I think, beautiful, especially, you know, Rebirth, I think is, actually both, I like both of them. I think they both are really pretty games. They're not like the crazy highest end graphics, but I like the art style of them. I think they're really good, especially, you know, remaking like ultra polygonal, you know, PS1 games. It's like mind blowing to see what they were able to pull off with these games. I think it's so cool. So if you haven't played them, they are most definitely worth playing. They have a twin pack with remake and rebirth where you can buy them both for one price, and it's definitely worth the money. I paid full price for both of them. Don't regret it at all. Played, you know, probably both of them for 100 hours each. I did not platinum Rebirth, man. All these stupid mini games in Rebirth, man. I like the mini games. I think they're super fun, but like you got to get like a high metal level on every single one of them. Is like, man, I can't get some of them. My reflexes just aren't good enough to do that anymore. I keep going back to it periodically. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna knock out a mini game here. I'm gonna knock out a mini game there. But at some point, I think I just kind of more or less let it go. But these are great games. Oh, and the best thing, I love the music in these games. The music is incredible. Like for my day job, I have like kind of an office desk job where I'm just like kind of doing computer work all day, and so I can like listen to music or podcasts or whatever. And I will just often, especially when I was playing these games and after I played them, because they kind of just stick with you, I would play the soundtrack to these games just over and over and over. I mean, the soundtrack's huge too. I mean, it could take you days to get through it. It's so long. But the music is just wonderful. It's an absolute delight. And as you can see, I think this looks, I mean, really good. This, I wasn't even paying attention, but if we had already jumped into the settings to look and see if it was PS5 Pro or not. But I guess we must have, because it looks like we're jumping out. And so I jumped in there, and the PS5 Pro version has like a really wonky name. I forget what it's called. But it wasn't in there, so it was definitely just a standard PS5 version. But I think at 8 inches, it looks really beautiful. Great game. Highly recommend it. You should totally play it. All right, so we're going to take a look at a few more games here. Let's see what tickles our fancy here. Is some of those games that went by. Carry-On is a super cool 2D game. We just went past that one. But it's kind of cool. Carry-On, you're the bad guy in it. It's awesome. Like, just check it out. It's cool. It's like a Devolver Digital game. I thought it was awesome. It's like a 5 or 6 hour little Metroidvania type game. It is killer. It's so much fun. Let's jump into Spider-Man 2, and we'll just kind of swing around a little bit. And I saw whenever we were selecting this one, I think Alan Wake 2 was sitting right there. We'll jump into Alan Wake 2 just to kind of finish out the video as well. But again, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. I certainly would appreciate it. Drop a like, leave me a comment down below. If you have played any of these games, I'd love to hear about your experiences with them, what you liked, what you didn't like. If there's a game that you feel like other people watching the channel need to check out, definitely let them know in the comments down below. All right, this is getting loaded up here. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is super fun. It needs no introduction. I'm sure everybody's probably known about it, played it. If you haven't played it, it's just these games are fun. Now, I liked the original more than the sequel, and I actually even liked the Miles Morales one more than both of them combined. I liked that it was a little bit shorter, and the vibe of Miles Morales is so cool. Like, I loved the music in it. I thought it was just so fun. It was like a nice little different take. I liked it. It was like Christmas time and snowing in New York City. It was totally awesome. So these games are great. They're so much fun. I cannot wait for the next game to come out. There was supposedly a Venom game that was supposed to be coming, and at this point, I'm just gonna guess maybe they canceled it. I don't know. It looks like Wolverine is supposed to be next from Insomniac, but we'll see. Spider-Man 3 will come for sure, so we'll have a ton of fun when that comes out. But this game is beautiful. I was so impressed with it when it came out. With the ray tracing and all the stuff that they were doing, they were kind of really at the forefront of trying to get like good ray tracing working on consoles. So I like that they kind of helped to lead the way. Ray tracing even now is still just something that's not always implemented. It's just like so intensive for consoles to run. But hopefully in the future that it seems like PS6 they're gonna increase the ray tracing ability and make that more affordable for game developers in terms of like their processing split and what they got to balance as far as optimizing games. So hopefully we'll get more ray tracing in the future, because it makes a world of difference with like lighting and reflections and stuff like that. Final game we're going to jump into, Alan Wake 2. Let me just tell you, I'm not like a survival horror guy. I do play them because I think they are good games. I don't like scary games really, but I don't like scary movies or like jump scares, stuff like that. But I like the story of Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2, and I think Alan Wake 2 is just kind of like the promise of everything they really wanted to do with the original Alan Wake. And this game had a genuinely surprising moment in it. It was basically like an entire level, and I was just like grinning ear to ear. I was totally like shocked. I was like, what is this? Like, what am I playing? Like, this is a real video game. Like, it's so crazy. But I was just like thoroughly blown away. The rest of the game, of course, is great. I really like it a lot. I like the kind of the bounce back between the two main characters. I think is fun. I really like the town, the Oh Dear Diner. I love that, and it's just a really fun, beautiful, well-crafted game. Oh, this is actually the DLC. I forgot. I jumped into the DLC. I never quite finished it, but. So we'll just kind of run around here for just a second, and we'll just blow some stuff up here. But once again, hey, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, number one, thank you for watching the entire video. I really do appreciate you. And if you did, please, hey, drop a like, leave a comment on the video, share it with somebody else if they're thinking about getting a PlayStation Portal. I picked this one up on Amazon resale whenever they had a little bit of a promo going. I got it for like $125, and it was like brand new condition. That video is actually up on the channel if you want to check that out. Go ahead and check that out. But I was shocked. I mean, $125 for basically a brand new Portal. It was awesome. It was such a great deal. And I think you can find these cheap all over the place. I'm sure you can get one on Facebook Marketplace for $50, $75 is what I would guess you can find them at even. $100 at least, But even if you buy one brand new, $200, I really, unless you have bad network conditions or something like that. But with the game streaming now, it's like it's almost not even dependent on your particular PlayStation, because if you have a good, solid connection, and you're not going to disconnect, I think it's going to work great. But hey, thank you guys so much again, and we will see you in the next one.